Hello to everybody but the British. Welcome to 313 Hockey. We're back. After an elite interview with the one and only Adam Ernie, the straw that stirs the drink of the Detroit Red Wings fan base, we are back with another interview today. We managed to coax Ryan Hana out of his bunker. He's decided to come on and tell us his conspiracy theories. He's very excited to talk about vaccines, injuries, all sorts of things.
He gives us the scoop on a lot of very private Red Wings information that was previously not available to the public, so stay tuned. We had the Ryan Hana breaking it down for us, so we'll get to that in a bit.
But before then, we have a very important thing that we love to do here, the Detroit Sports Update.
Oh, because... I thought you were going to say overreact.
Well, that's coming. That's coming in space.
That will happen.
But our favorite thing to do on our hockey show is to not talk about hockey first. We like to edge you guys a little bit, give you something to look forward to.
Also, I feel like it's probably good for people who don't actually follow the other teams. Hopefully. That's what I'll just tell myself as we waste more time.
Helps you get a little city pride. So there was a Lions game last week. There's probably one today. We're recording on Sunday.
There is one today.
Bears.
They play the Bears.
You.
Bears.
A team almost as pathetic as the Lions. But anyway, speaking of pathetic, Aaron Rodgers got his ass handed to him last week.
That was so nice.
And instead of admitting and taking the L, he shouldered the blame on everyone else. So his quote was, "The Lions didn't beat us, we just weren't good enough."
Right.
Maddie, right. I'm not drunk. I'm just not sober enough.
That's what I told the cops.
Having that was like a double win because any time that the Packers lose is already a dub. And then it was the Lions who beat them. So you had a double win Sunday. And I think also it was last week. The Wings played on that day too, I believe. So
yes,
that was a good day. So I'm happy to. Aaron Rodgers is my most hated alive person.
Is he your most? Yeah, who are your most hated athletes?
He's number one. I don't know, not really an athlete, but Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Nick
Saban bad. I'm kind of anti. I mean, like I'm anti Taze and Kane always. Like,
oh yeah, obviously.
Easiest people to hate.
Oh yeah, I saw that you were. I mean, I guess if you guys follow, he's laughing. If you guys follow our Twitter, Jake was posting or tweeting about essentially that Kane like he knew about the sexual abuse, and then I saw people in our Twitter like saying like really defending Kane, and I was like, Jake, what have you done?
I sometimes like when that happens, like my eyes roll over to whites, and I just get possessed by like the ghost of every person who hates the Blackhawks, and I just start typing like crazy. Like this one person's like, "Oh, is that a reputable source?" So I sent 6 different sources because I'm a psychopath.
You should have just sent a picture of your nutsack.
Just trust it.
That's what I would do if I had balls. If somebody ever asked me for a source, I would just send them a picture of my sack.
I actually have an amazing reply for a source now.
What?
It was revealed to me in a vision.
Let's hear it.
Nice.
Oh, that's the source?
Yeah. So anyway, there is some... I made it the fuck up. There's a Lions versus Bears game today. And then the Pistons play. The Pistons are not doing great this season.
They're not. They're so much
They're really trying.
They're just like...
They're trying.
They're trying. I was going to say they're like a team, but I'm not going to compare them. Actually, I'm going to retract my statement.
They got a good core. I mean, that's the next super team in the making if they can pull everything together.
Yeah. I like the Werner's jersey that just dropped. It's very
cool. A lot of those city jerseys were kind of mid, so we won't touch on them too much. But there's one in particular I would like to talk to you guys about.
Yes, sir.
The Charlotte Hornets have a jersey that abbreviates their name to CLT.
They did it really well.
Have you ever been able to I found the clip. I've been looking so long. I found it.
Oh, God.
Have you ever been able to tell that a woman is not in the approval process?
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time I see that.
Or you know what else?
Isn't the abbreviation
What's
for
that?
Charlotte CHA?
No.
I thought it was.
That could be. I don't know. That's an Elliot Friedman abbreviation.
Yeah.
Well, he's God. His word is God. You know, the worst about that is like the women's gear up until like this season, but like women's sports gear for most teams is terrible, and you can tell like a woman was not involved. They'll just like put sequins on something or just like make it like glittery
Like
and
pink.
pink. Yeah, and then like I'll say like this season though, I noticed Erin Andrews started a line, which is actually like she makes cute women's sports apparel.
Did she do that denim jacket in the Wings store? That thing's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, those are cute.
I notice a lot of times that a lot of women are not involved in approval processes with things to do with women. I used to work at an ad agency covering a client that I won't name, but in the process, I wrote an ad for like the women of the year who work in their field, and it went all the way up the approval ladder, all the way up to the CEO of our client, and not a single woman was involved at any point of the way.
Yeah, that
makes sense.
It was great. It was really cool.
Have you seen Mad Men?
Yeah, it was just like Mad Men.
Yeah, it's just like when that's what happens in Mad Men. They get Tampax as a client, and Peggy has to like, I'm a woman then, because it's just a bunch of dudes.
You want to hear something sad? I actually started a career in advertising. One, because I thought Mad Men was pretty cool, and two, because this really pretty girl I knew from high school was in advertising. And so
now you're gay.
And now look at
That
me.
tracks.
I'm fucking gay.
That all tracks.
What happened? Speaking of what happened, there are...
What happened, Jake?
That's such a good segue.
What happened, Jake?
What happened, Jake?
A lot of things happened this last week in Red Wings land.
No,
we're going to talk about it.
Some things didn't, though.
Some things didn't. We refuse to acknowledge anything that could be constituted as
a blowout or an L.
Okay, I didn't want to say the word, but yeah. Those don't exist. Those didn't exist, and those never exist. Because there's an important rule when it comes to running a podcast. You are never wrong. Ever. Ever.
How come... I have a question for you, Jake.
What?
How, before this podcast was started, what excuse did you use for never being wrong?
They were revealed to me in visions, mostly. Visions are inconsistent. You know, oracles can only give you so much of the picture. So that's where I'm at right now. And also, I've never been wrong then. Usually what happens is people will say I'm wrong, and then like 5 years from now, they'll be like, damn it, he was right. I said, Peter Mrazek is probably not going to pan out, and people were pretty mad. And lo and behold, now he's a Blackhawk.
All right.
Oh, how
the turntable.
I love Henrik Zetterberg, and I was like, he can't carry this team, and in his last couple of years of his career, and everybody was like, no, bro, Z can bring us to the playoffs in like 2016, and he didn't. So
wow, okay,
that was a bleak one. Anyway, that
one was uncalled for.
I love Zetterberg, love him so much.
You also like Datsuk. You're self-loathing.
It's okay if I like Datsuk though. Okay, but if there was like a ultra conservative player who's got some alt-right views, some views that maybe make you a little uncomfortable.
Tim Thomas.
And he plays amazing. Yeah, let's say Tim Thomas.
We've had this discussion so many times about...
Okay, well, we're having it again. I haven't pushed you to your limit.
Nah, you have.
Yeah, okay.
Give it a few... He's like tested though. He's like dipping his toe. He's like...
I call it poking the bear.
It's Jake's favorite pastime.
It's like
Tom's more of a bear than I am.
Yeah, if Tom were in the gay community, he'd be considered a bear.
Easily. I don't think... I heard this argument before, but I don't think you have to be gay. Like, Tom's a bear, but he's just not gay.
All right, I you know, as our resident queer, I will change this narrative. Now,
thank you.
Tom, you can be a bear.
I'll accept this.
Excellent. Glad to hear
we got that out of the way. Now let's talk about some games that happened and some that did not happen.
You were at the Islanders game, weren't you, Maddie?
How was that?
Tell me a little bit about it.
That was a wonderful time overall. Vibes were great. It was really cool to see all the old guys. Like, I obviously got emotional. Vladdy was there, so I knew I was gonna cry. it was just really beautiful what they did. And I wasn't there for that Thursday before for the 97. This was the 98 celebration. But, we had like Lidstrom, D-Mac, basically most of the team. There are a few notable guys not there. For example, Fedorov wasn't there. But overall, it was really cool. I got like this little commemorative ticket and we won that game. So all around good vibes.
That merch was really sick. Like the old
Dude,
90s style.
It was like almost all of it was gone before the game had started. So I was a little bit bummed. I wanted to get the back-to-back shirt.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hyenas, man. They should honestly.
They should
Detroit
sell
Red
it
Wings,
online, bro.
sell it online. You will make.
Why are you gatekeeping?
Money. Speaking of gatekeeping.
Oh no!
I am
no!
Here and now, putting in some gatekeeping.
Okay.
If you don't know everything, and I mean everything about the Red Wings, you are not a real fan. I'm sorry. Those are the rules. I'm sorry. That way, everybody is gatekept.
You know what? I think you should be allowed to gatekeep a little bit. Like, some people are fucking stupid or annoying.
And also, like,
I'm sorry. Somebody's got to say it. Not every Red Wings fan is cool.
We are a team that was built in the original 6. So there is over 100 years of history about this team. There are going to be some people that hop on the bandwagon over the next few years.
Right.
It's sad to say, but like, we got to be honest with ourselves. They are coming.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I guess someone more mature than I would say like all support is good. So, I mean, I can, like, part of me, I'll have some moments where I'm like, who the fuck are you? But most of the time I'm like, you know what? I'm glad that someone is getting into hockey. There are a lot of, like, for example, there's that one chick who recently got into hockey and like, she's really proud and she like tries to learn about the game. Like, I'm not upset about that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
there are different types of fans.
Yeah, if you have like legit questions, like, please, like, if you come in with a curious mind, that is great. But if you come in with a sense of entitlement and you're like trade Larkin or like, you're just being a like general asshole, like, people are gonna be dicks to you back. Don't gentrify my fan base. That's my conclusion. Good. So the first thing I want to ask is, do you think that Juraj Slafkovsky hit, number one, was dirty? Objectively, I think it was a dirty hit. But two, do you think the punishment matched the crime?
No.
I don't think so either. He got the same amount of games Michael Rasmussen did for accidentally hitting that Bruin guy with
accidentally
on purpose, but like, it wasn't nearly as bad as like taking a guy out for 2 to 3 months. Like, that's pretty bad.
We can, if we like had a compilation of all the suspensions given out just this season, it's crazy how much range there is or like lack of consistency for the punishments, quote unquote, given versus the crime. It's like, I don't know. It kind of feels like me. Now I was about to say something fucked up.
You have to now. You have to commit to the bit.
It's like a white person like running through a stop sign and be like, ha ha ha, I'm white, a cop won't arrest me. And like, knowing that you won't get a punishment for your crime.
One time I was in the car with my rich roommate in college, and
the one that we talked about last episode,
maybe
the horrible one.
Yeah, he got pulled over once when I was in the car with him, and he like talked to the officer. He goes, "Officer, calm down. I am white. It's okay."
No,
I'm dead serious, and it was in Mount Pleasant.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So what did the officer say?
The officer was like, "I don't give a damn what color you are. You can't drive like that." Like, immediate, like, snapped into it.
What a piece of shit. Is this the dude from Chicago?
No, he's from Troy. This one's from Troy.
Well, checks out.
Yeah. So I had a lot of bad roommates, including Tom.
Fair.
What was the worst part about having Tom as a roommate?
One time Tom and I had to teach a 21-year-old man how to do laundry. That was an experience.
Yeah, that was.
But that's not the worst part about having Tom as a roommate.
Every night I lived in fear that he would get too drunk and like do something completely foolish, because we had a lot of
on the wall or something.
Well, we had a guy punch a bunch of holes in the wall once.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was.
We had Tom's incident that we talked about a few episodes back.
Yeah, Tom's tub.
Tom's tub. One time, a guy, we stole the door off the hinges of one of the guys that lived with us because he was
Oh,
being just a
yeah.
control freak. He was trying to, like,
Oh,
you
he
know,
deserved it.
yeah, he was trying to micromanage everybody, and he was just being a general dick to anybody who didn't, like,
Right.
immediately pay him for rent.
Oh,
So we took his door off the hinges and moved it a few blocks over, and when he came
Nice.
back, he was from Downriver, for the record.
what
So
kind
he-
of downriver though? There's a lot of
Um,
different flavors of downriver.
Do you know, Tom?
I can't remember exactly.
It was
what
around
I
Taylor, though,
remember.
around that area.
Oh,
Yeah.
say less. That's all I
So
needed
he
to
like
know.
comes downstairs, whips off his quarter zip, and he's got a wife beater underneath. And he goes,
Oh,
"All right,
good.
who am I fighting? Who am I fighting?" He's got a gold chain hanging from his neck.
Oh, that's how I'm gonna approach anything I get mad about now. I'm just gonna rip my clothes off and be like, "Who am I fighting? Let's
just-
go."
Continuously, like, watching him descend further and further into madness throughout the rest of the day was even funnier because somebody
Oh
had
my
saran wrapped his
God.
toilet.
Oh,
Somebody
yeah.
else had like helter
Did he piss
skeltered his
onto it?
room. No, he saw it pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Oh, okay.
Somebody else like moved his whole room around.
Holy fuck! Did he beat someone's ass in the end or not?
No.
No.
He was the kind of kid who'd say he'd beat ass, but he would never
Right.
beat ass.
That's
He's ju-
funny as shit.
So
you
he's-
never
he-
answered my question about
What
Tom.
was that? Well, this
Yeah.
we're getting to it. This
It's a
important
long-
incident set the stage for what we call the popcorn incident.
Oh, fuck.
That same kid got in the face of another kid because I don't know, was he playing music loud or something? I don't know. It was really stupid.
Oh, shit. I can't remember what it was they were fighting about. But these two guys were like best friends before this incident happened.
I thought
I
they
was
should
li-
kiss.
Yeah. I was in the adjoining room with the other kid.
How many people
And-
lived in this house?
12.
There's a
No! Imagine living in a home with 12
12 men
men.
and one girlfriend moved in.
That poor woman.
Yeah.
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 That sounds terrible.
There was somebody
All right.
else that moved in for a while too. We had recurring
Popcorn.
characters.
Popcorn.
Anyway, yeah, this kid took a 5-pound bag of popcorn and like chucked it at another kid's room, so popcorn just got
Where
everywhere.
do you even get a 5-pound bag of popcorn?
He worked at a movie theater.
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I should have. My bad. What a silly question.
I know. You need the context. So the other one took his like pull-up bar and like speared his room with it. So there's like
Right.
a hole in the door, the same door
Yep.
that we took a few blocks down.
Uh-huh.
So it erupted into like a little war. And
Jesus fucking
instead of
Christ.
breaking things up, Tom went and smoked some weed. He literally opened his door,
Yeah.
saw it,
Good.
and closed it. Lit a joint.
Good.
Yep.
That's what yeah. I can just picture like somebody eating popcorn. Like that's such a chaotic story. I'm so glad it
Oh, we've
Ugh.
got stories galore from that
All
era.
right.
Anyway,
Well, let's get back to the writings.
yeah.
People are like, you guys get off track so often. Like, no fucking shit.
If you ever offer us any criticism, just know we are going to do the opposite of what you tell us.
We're gonna get worse. And
We're
we're
going
gonna
to get
meaner.
worse. And we're going to be very mean to each other. Like,
Yeah.
really personal shit that's going to affect how we see each other forever. Anyway,
Okay.
wrapping up this Montreal game, Austin Zarnik has more goals than Philip Zadina now.
Yes, he does.
Okay, I feel like we can't really dunk
Well, you
on
know what?
Zadina while he's out.
Ever since his
Sure.
injury, he's been invisible. I
That's
haven't seen
true.
him on the ice once.
He's not doing anything, like I said.
He needs to step his game up. This is weak. If I
This
were
is weak.
injured, he should be on that ice, trying to produce, make a name for himself.
Exactly.
I get that you signed a contract and you're just going to coast, but
Yep.
you need to do something.
You need to get on the fucking ice, dude. Like,
Just simply be good.
buzzed.
You should be stuffing the opponent's nets.
If I were Zadina, I'd simply not be injured.
That's right. Just heal yourself. Do Reiki or
What is
whatever.
that?
Some hippie shit like
Oh, true.
energies
Tom?
of arms. Do you know, Tom?
You look
as
like
a
you should
resident
know.
hippie, I don't know actually.
Oh,
I'm
Tom
sorry,
is
Bryson.
Tom is like the like woodsman hippie. Reiki is like I live in New
Yeah.
York City and
Oh.
I'm definitely not a
Okay.
trust fund baby hippie.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right.
Like they shop at Anthropology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got you.
Then the Rangers game didn't happen. We're not going
That
to
did.
talk about it.
That game did not happen.
Nope.
There's nothing to talk about. we never played them on the
No,
road yet this
not at all.
season.
Nothing bad happened except the Red Wings got some points. Some of the players, Lucas Raymond got another goal.
It was a home game. That didn't happen.
It didn't happen though. But Lucas Raymond got a goal, so that's
cool.
cool.
Right. That did happen. He's on fire. I love it.
He is great. Ever since that, like, people were like, "Oh, is he having a sophomore slump?" He's just been insane.
Oh yeah.
Well, also he was getting knocked around too, and I think he got sick of that.
It was literally just give him like 5 games to get used to everyone understanding how he plays the game and how he changes it up.
So a lot of people compare him to Mitch Marner from the Maple Leafs, but like
that's annoying.
I don't
really agree. I think he's more like a Panarin type, like where he's very much like a setup man, and he can do goals too, but he's not gonna just stand down if somebody attacks him. I mean, that's the biggest issue with Mitch Marner is he's a really good player, but like in the playoffs, somebody targets him once and he's just cowers for the rest of the game.
Right. And like that's something about Raymond's game that I really appreciate is he's not just this agile, quick goal scorer. He's throwing checks. He'll stand up for himself. He's in the scrum. So I like that. Get you a man who can do both.
He's kind of got a dog in him.
He does. What do you mean? He has a dog.
Oh yeah, he's had
it wasn't unleashed until more recently.
That's what I mean is you didn't really see the dog until it started to come out.
Right.
The puppy has become a dog.
Ooh.
But I didn't get to catch the Kings game because it was on so late last night, and I was having my first experience watching a UFC fight. It was kind of hot, honestly. Like a lot of really strong men just holding each other.
Right.
Yep, that's what UFC is.
The blood, I was kind of into the blood. The blood really it awoke like a caveman instinct in me where I was like
you started like throwing handfuls of your shit at them.
But it was cool. And that's why I didn't watch the Kings game.
Dude.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. Well, I didn't watch the third period. I fell asleep. But the Kings scored in 9 seconds after the game started. I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those. But actually, the final was only 4-3 Kings.
It looks like they put up a fight. I mean, from the highlights I watched, like, the Kings are a legit team in the playoffs. Like, they're going to do some damage there.
Yeah.
So,
and they had their reverse retros on, and they looked fucking sexy.
Those are like the purple ones, right?
The purple, the fucking Gretzky ones.
Oh, I dig those.
They're so nice.
All right, we want to cut to the Hana interview? I think we should. Anyway, everybody, here's Ryan Hana.
Hello, everyone. We are joined today by Ryan Hana of the Winged Wheel podcast. Ryan, I'd like to start off with a quick question. Mm-hmm. When are we going to trade Dylan Larkin? What's happening?
Jake, look, I made the calculated decision. Maddie messaged before saying bring a beer. I'm old, so I can't have a beer this early. Otherwise, I'll be out by like 9:30. So I had a tall glass of water in front of me. And if I knew you were going to open with that bullshit, I would have brought 2 beers.
I tried to help you, Ryan.
Got you covered,
Just trying to
Ryan.
throw you a bone. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers,
I have a smoothie, so I'm in the same boat.
All right, Tom and I are just out here.
We're getting Tom and Maddie wasted. We should have made this a drinking game.
Off one.
Anyway, Ryan, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I've never hung out with cool people before, so
it's going to be a nice change of pace then.
Yeah.
You're going to be disappointed then.
That's
Severely.
One of us decided to start using Reddit. Not great. So the cool card got revoked pretty quick the moment I created that.
What? There is no cool social media anymore.
No, it's all dead.
I'm sitting here just annoyed. I'm like, what's the next thing that I have to figure out? And like, I never used to be worried about that. And then one day you realize, oh, my body's decomposing and I no longer know what the kids are saying. And so I'm just like horrified of what the next social media space is. So I don't know. Reddit might be the best we have right now, which is a terrible thing to say.
That's a low bar indeed.
Similar to our podcast, they're both just going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
As all good things do.
We've decided to start taking the opposite of criticism, where if people start critiquing us, we just, make it worse. And I think it's working out pretty well for us.
That's
anyway.
Gotta be better than what I'm doing.
I got a question.
What's your approach?
Yeah. I cry. Yeah, I just cry a lot.
We've been there.
Yeah, I just forwarded it all to Brad and Evan, and they can't read, so
Oh,
It just
that's
falls
so
on deaf ears.
smart.
Yeah.
Tom,
Yeah.
can you forget how to read sometimes so we can just start making decisions?
Oh, I forget how to read all the fucking time.
Yeah. Anyway, Ryan, I do have a semi-serious question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
The Slavkovsky hit made me really start to reconsider players that I truly despise. And what I would like to know is, are there players in the NHL that you dislike or that you don't enjoy to watch?
Yeah. If you ask me this question, not even before the podcast, let's say early years of the podcast, like 7 years ago, 6 years ago, I would have given you some really passionate answers. Corey Perry was a player I grew up, and it's like, look, ultra talented player, and I think Marchand's just like an evolved version of him. But growing up as a Red Wings fan, you could not get a quicker answer out of me than Corey Perry when you asked me who I hated. So I remember Tyson Nash for some reason when I was younger as well. Couldn't stand that guy. But it's easy to say Marchand. It's easy to say, I knew a new one is Dumba, and I forgot about that until the Minnesota game.
Yeah.
And people were bringing it up.
I'm angry now.
I think once we got into covering 82 games a year, and this became a bigger thing that we were doing, it's not that I lost that passion, but it forces you to see things from a different perspective, so the hatred isn't as easily brought about. So, for example, that Slavkovsky hit, I watched that, I'm like, dumbass hit. What a boneheaded play. And it wasn't an accident. It wasn't that Luff was off balance. It wasn't Slavkovsky only had a split second. No, he's just being an idiot. But I think he's being an idiot. He's a rookie in the league, and he made this stupid decision, and I bet if he could do it over, he wouldn't do it again. I mean, if he makes a trend of it, then I'll happily eat my words. But when a long time ago, I would have looked at that Slavkovsky hit and said, yep, 1,000 years dungeon. I loathe you forever, and I won't forget this for the rest of the time. But yeah, the answer is Brad Marchand.
Good answer. Yeah, we've been trying to figure out villains that we hate. Patrick Kane is always going to be my villain. Public enemy number one.
Yeah, the Red Wings need to be better to inspire that kind of hatred, though. It just sucks when you hate someone and then it's like, yeah, they're going to dunk on you 5-2 at home every time. So,
do you see any teams that could be future rivals?
Yeah, I think people are really underestimating how much Ottawa and Buffalo are going to be like.
I was going to say Ottawa too.
Yeah,
it's like the brother and sister that we're growing up with.
Yeah, younger siblings.
It's weird now though. It's like once you guys are already late teenagers and then you start hating each other, it's not like a childhood friend like I feel like the Blackhawks are, or foe, it's a new hater.
Yeah.
Damn. We have Ryan Hana on our podcast and Jake's like, how can we make him more of a hater?
It's the first step. The second step is how can we make it about me?
All right.
So that'll come around naturally.
Hey, there are a lot of people in my life who will tell you that Jake's tapping into the right space. So, whatever you want to do.
Oh, like who?
That was a quick transition.
Does Chris Draper listen to 3-on-3 hockey?
I don't think. No. I hope no one listens to the Winged Wheel. No,
oh,
I'm kidding.
Stop!
I hope you all do, because we put a lot of time into that, and I hope you see how
I do.
Decidingly middling it is. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. That's very nice.
You guys are
people
fun.
who would tell you I'm a hater is my my fiance's downstairs, and she will tell you how long I hold a grudge. Not like a grudge, but I don't let go of stuff.
Do you find that with your growing platform that you feel a certain responsibility with your following? If you guys all decided to dogpile on a certain player, do you have to rein in your opinions just to make sure that people don't all come after one guy?
It's not about reining in the opinions. It's about reining in the messaging. And the answer is definitely yes. I know some people don't like that, but we learned that the hard way. We have this thing where neither myself, Brad, nor Evan, the three hosts of our show, are accepted the size of our following for the longest time. We were just expecting it to go away one day. We're like, this isn't sustainable. We don't really understand why people are listening this much. Just being stupid about it. And, that might sound quaint and cute, but it genuinely was destructive, because at one point it was the late years of Abdulkader, and we were teeing off on Abdulkader, and it was the amount that the same sentiments were echoed and amplified beyond what was reasonable. Right. And I was chatting with someone close to the team, and they said and they said it I was very fortunate that they said it to me gently. Like they put it in kinder words. But they're like, hey, not that it's your fault that Abdelkader's a bad player or whatever, but you have to think, is it valuable to be teeing off on someone who is not at all the biggest issue on the team, or is a fourth line player, or where everyone already knows the story on him? It's fun and it's good content. He's like, I understand that, but is it worthwhile with the size of your platform? Is that valuable for you? And is that, never mind the effect that it has on the player? I hope Justin Abdelkader never heard any of that, because I know him to be a really, really good guy. And that's something I feel badly about. So we learned, I also would never break down the integrity of the show and our opinions, because otherwise, why are people listening? I won't be afraid to share those opinions, which is why I'm wrong so often. But it's definitely measuring the words, and it still feels like my head's too big by saying this. But I'm like, with the size of the platform, we have to understand that anything and everything that is said on the show might be misconstrued or amplified beyond what we intended it. So we're careful. Are we perfect? No, God, no. No, we're three idiots. But you have to think about it. And thinking is hard, Jake. Let me tell you. I miss when I can just lean into the himbo energy and just turn a mic on and talk into it and not have a
Oh my
care
God,
in
it's
the
the
world.
best.
That's all that we do.
It's literally just Jake's MO
No
every single
thoughts.
fucking week.
Yeah. No
This is
thoughts,
my-
just vibes.
No analytics.
This is my mental dumping ground.
Yeah.
Literally, I'll just go on and I just open my mouth and just let whatever come out, and here we are.
Yeah,
Good,
I'm
I'm
just the
jealous.
one that has to edit all of it.
I know that pain, Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
That one's.
It's a great time. Great time.
Tom ass.
Sorry,
But
Is it Tom? Do you go by Tom? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Tom for like more just casual kind of conversation. Thomas is more just like on
We're
resumes
having
and
a
all that
business
kind of thing.
discussion, so I feel
Tom
like...
Tommy is his professional name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy.
No,
Yeah.
his professional
Yeah.
name is Baby Girl.
God, now we gotta keep it.
What is going on Twitter? I don't understand.
Do not ask.
Don't understand.
Do not ask.
No, you know
Ryan.
what?
Ryan,
Stay off Twitter.
Ryan, neither do
Ryan, I
I.
have
So
been
we're
losing my mind for the past week
Stay off Twitter.
over just the stuff that I keep seeing.
Don't don't even let me ask the questions. You take it away.
Pandora's box
Okay.
has been opened.
I have an interesting question I think is pretty relevant for us now, that I'd love to hear, Ryan, your answer. So as we released the Ernie interview last week, we got a lot of feedback, and not all of it was very nice. And some of the hosts take the criticism harder than others. And I want to know, because we talked about your show, and obviously you guys have one of the biggest hockey podcasts in the world, and you're not gonna be able to please everyone. So what besides? Okay, I know you said you cry, but do you have any advice for my fellow co-hosts here about being able to block out haters?
I'll be quite honest with you up front. Brad and Evan are much better suited for this.
Okay.
Evan, I've never seen someone more carefree. Evan is, it's like, how only good things happen to insanely hot people? That's Evan. Just like everything falls in place in front of him and it pisses you off. And so nothing really gets through to him either. Brad is too busy. So I actually had to learn. I had to learn as well how to handle this. So I'm not perfect at it, but it's the acceptance of exactly what you just said, Maddie. Like, you're never going to please everyone. And you know what? Frankly, there's some dumbasses in the world.
Yeah.
And frankly, sometimes you're going to be the dumbass. And that's just how it's going to shake out. Like, there's no perfect way to handle it. But if you're sensitive to it, don't read it. Flat out, don't read it. Don't close yourself off to, constructive criticism, but you have to find different avenues to receive that if it's just going to ruin your day. There's some stuff where there's times in running the podcast where, I said, oh, I have time for this person today, and I lashed back out at them. And it's not because they had a criticism. I actually, to a fault, will accept anyone's criticism and try to make the show better for it. But if it was a bad faith thing or they were just kind of being shitheads, then I would lash back out. But you know what? It's never worth your time, because that's what they want. If it's a free platform, you're putting out a podcast for free. They don't have to listen. They don't have to listen. And I don't know. I'd be lying if I say some days it didn't get to me. But you have to find, as long as you're happy and comfortable with what you're putting out, then that's all that matters. Otherwise, it's just noise. And you know what? Everyone is way too terminally online. Like, that's just those people it's not the real world. And I'm not talking about people who are like, hey, you could have done this a bit differently. No, that's actually incredibly valuable, and they did nothing wrong. But people who are shitty for the sake of being shitty, that's not real. It's all fake. People are so online and too connected, and too, like, everything about themselves has to do with the way they appear on Twitter or the YouTube comments or whatever. It's just not real. It's a big meme in the gaming, and I think it's actually out and just like the kids are saying it, but touch grass is on. Honestly, it's so true. Like, just fucking go outside,
all
man.
the fucking time.
I honestly think we know too much about each other. Like that I think is
true
like a really
too.
big. Like literally our ancestors 50, 100, 200 years ago did not know this much about everybody else's personal lives.
People are too comfortable on the internet.
Me.
Yeah.
Maybe Twitter dying wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world.
That's how I feel. Unleash me
yeah.
from these chains.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I've been here for that since day one.
Give us your like favorite moment you've had in the history of WWP.
That's very tough. I have to say, every time we're at a Winged Wheel podcast night at the LCA, it is like, we've done 3 of them. The 4th is being planned for April, and
hell yeah,
every single one, we saw the ticket sales. We knew the amount of people who paid to come to the event, and every single time we were convinced that no one would show up. And especially with this one where we had to move it to Hockeytown Cafe, lest Ken delete my number and never talk to me again because it's fucking freezing in the beer garden. I was like, okay, well, the beer garden was attached to the arena, and that's the only reason why people came out. I was so certain there was going to be like 20 people in that room. And every time we see that room fill up, it's like...
That was dope.
It gets cozy.
Yeah, it gets cozy.
There was a long-ass line to order a beer.
Yeah, we're working on that for next time.
Oh my god, that wasn't like... It's a good thing that there was a line because so many people were there.
It'd be really cool if you guys made like drinks based off of things that you guys like. Like, I'll order the Ryan, and you can name "and I'm Evan" for the drink that Evan has.
That's actually good. Yeah.
That is good.
I'm gonna steal that idea and claim it was mine.
This is what happens when you work in marketing.
No, that's good.
Too bad
we should do that actually. Oh, that's really good, Jake. We should do that next time.
Damn, Jake has good ideas.
Hit me up for some of your other good ideas. I'm a good idea haver.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So, like, at what point when you were doing the show did you realize, like, holy shit, this is kind of popping off?
The events,
or are you
for
still
sure.
in denial?
I'm still in denial. I'm still in denial. The events, for sure, really helped us understand that. On the flip side of things is when I told you what I told you earlier about, when we realized the impact that our voice had. Anytime, we talk to Ken or Chris Draper, or, you guys had Adam Ernie on. It was the same when we were talking to Alex Nedeljkovic a couple of times. We'll talk to people without naming names, from the team or in the league, and we're always like introducing ourselves. As you introduce yourself as a podcast, it's like you automatically have to follow it up with qualifiers that make it worth their time. Because why is this dweeb from a podcast talking to me? And then when we start to get the response back of, yeah, we know who you are, or we tune in, and both horrifying, like terrible news, but that's when we started to have a little bit of acceptance of the size of the show. And then really once we were able to measure consistently how we were ranking among, like, it was very cool and very surreal, and I like so humbling. Please know I'm not trying to have a big head when I say this, but seeing our name up there with like Spit and Chicklets, 32 Thoughts, etc., and have our show ranked up there, I was like, still feels like I'm being punked, but it doesn't matter how stupid we are, we can't avoid it at that point. So yeah, it's only been in the last couple of years, I think, where we've really kind of accepted it.
And you guys have been around since like the end or the beginning of the rebuild, like end of the Holland era.
Yeah, 2015, February 2015. So when we started the show, actually, Holland was still very popular, so we actually got quite a bit of backlash. That was our first like negative wave against us because we were saying, "Hey, Holland's not doing the best things right now, and it's going to hurt us soon." And that was sacrilege because Red Wings fandom had not known negative energy in 25 years. So
yeah.
That's fair.
That's fair.
We get minor backlash for dunking on a certain player who we won't name because we keep talking about him. We cannot stop talking about him.
I can guess.
Yes, you can. Ryan, how did you actually meet Evan and Brad?
Prison.
Oh, true.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how I met these two guys. It's so funny how that happens.
I met you in the psych ward. I don't know what you're talking about.
Maximum security.
We actually met. Shit, security. They unleashed you three onto all the rest of us. No, we actually met via Reddit. Funny enough.
No shit.
Wow.
Yeah, I met straight, and I say like everyone, everyone's too terminally online, and I met two strangers from Reddit, and now they come to my house twice a week.
I mean, look at us.
Yeah, I was wanting to do a podcast, something, and Brad independently, we had never known each other as well, and we met via Reddit, and then we met at a Tim Hortons.
Of course, because you're
course.
Canadian.
Well, terrible coffee. Like
Where
it's
all of the
LinkedIn
best
for
ideas are made, though.
You're never gonna have Tim Hortons on your podcast now, but I'll tell you, it's shit coffee. I can't stand it. It gives me gut rot. So I just ruined a potential sponsor.
Tim Horton, if you're listening to this, come on to the podcast.
Tim Horton.
No, you won't.
We can fix the coffee.
Yeah, we can fix Tim Hortons.
We can fix him.
Not him. He's
dead
he's
as
gone.
fuck.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Brad and I
solutions
just
for
said
that.
the same thing. See, this is the difference between the two podcasts. Ryan says he's gone. I say he's dead as fuck.
Oh, we're a tall glass of water over here.
Ryan's like, yeah, we have a responsibility with our platform, and Matt
Right,
is
he
like,
has
yeah,
to-
we do too. To be crazy.
Ryan has to be. We have to get him to like be psycho a little bit. Give us your hottest take. Give us your hottest take, Ryan. Wings
About
take.
what?
Wings.
About the wings.
Anything wings that you might not be able to say on your own podcast.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's no. Ooh, yeah. You know, I would love to say there's nothing I would ever not say on my own podcast, and I would like to think that's true. But let me think about it. I know one that I don't talk about a lot. Is the likelihood that not just Bertuzzi but Hronek is maybe not on this team long term.
Thank God.
Well, it doesn't matter, right? Like, it doesn't matter whether I think that. It's not. Don't take it as a guarantee, but knowing that both have been shopped in the past and knowing how like hard the Bertuzzi contracts were, and
right,
it's like a super delicate topic because people, the moment you talk about Bertuzzi, it brings in like a vaccine argument, and like I cannot express to people how little of a shit I give. Like, I have my personal life.
Yeah.
And I have absolutely zero energy to argue with anybody else about vaccines, whatever. But there is a very real reality about the difficulty of Bertuzzi's previous contract negotiations and his injury history. And that's all aside from the fact that, he made a decision at some point wherein he didn't play some games for the Red Wings last season. And that wasn't popular across the league, not just the Red Wings.
Right.
Like, that was
for
pretty
sure.
frowned
Yeah, he was
upon
the
him.
only one.
For a point, yeah. So for me, that's kind of it's not the most popular opinion, and it's not really a hot take, but I would say Bertuzzi, I would still probably put my money on him being traded, even though I'd like to see him back.
Right.
And Hronek maybe long term too
You'd
maybe
like to
not
see
that he
Hronek
will
back?
be. What's that? Sorry.
Sorry for interrupting. No, I just to clarify, you want to see Hronek back?
I would say I would want to see Bertuzzi back. I wouldn't want to see Hronek gone at all costs. But if there's a team willing to overpay for a right-hand shot defenseman, I think that's a pretty big opportunity because I think and his contract, if they make some moves, maybe they could afford it. But I think there could be a way where, we didn't get the stealing for Hronek, or Hronek's stealing isn't as high as we hoped it'd be, but a team would pay like it is. Last trade deadline though would have been a great opportunity, and the Red Wings were pushing hard, but there just wasn't a buyer.
Well, you guys heard it here first. Ryan Hana confirmed that Tyler Bertuzzi and Philip Hronek are out of here.
I will drive to that quaint little town of Pittsburgh. push you out the window.
I'll force you to go to a Pens game. How about that?
Oh.
That's punishment enough.
PPG Paints Arena, is that what it's called?
It's such a snooze fest here. I don't know if you've ever been to the arena here, but like, it's like if NPCs designed an arena. Like, there is nothing unique about it. There's nothing where I'm like, oh, cool. Like the LCA has all these like bells and whistles, and you walk in there and it's like, welcome to the arena. Have a seat.
And it's newer, right? Because they almost lost a team because they had It was Mellon Arena was the previous one.
Yep, they built it for Crosby. And,
funny thing is, I actually like Pittsburgh. It's a cool little town.
It's a dope city. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So that's your hot take there. I would like to hear a league-wide hot take. What is something that you think is going to happen? Are they going to finally ship Trevor Zegras off to the moon?
Why do people hate Trevor Zegras?
I don't beef.
So
I don't
cool.
beef with Trevor Zegras.
I don't
I
get
just
it.
beef with marketing,
Last year, I could understand it. Like, it's not his fault. It's the NHL's fault. But now I don't give a fuck. He's not lucky anymore.
I just think the NHL is really bad at marketing, and then when they find like one thing that works, they like latch onto it like a parasite and just suck out as much content as they can.
NHL doesn't know how to promote itself. That's why. So when something goes viral, that's all they stick to, which is actually better than what they used to do, which is ignore that. You should see it. Well, I'm sure you know how little or how poorly they advertised Crosby and Ovechkin in their early years.
Yeah.
Gary Bettman, if you're listening, please come on to 3-1-3 Hockey.
Yeah, maybe a league-wide hot take.
Who do you foresee winning the cup is a good specific one.
Oh, I could see Vegas doing some damage, but it would require some miracles in net for sure. I think people are really underestimating them. League-wide hot take: Toronto's not going to do anything in the playoffs again. They're going to fire Dubas. They're going to fire
It's a hot take.
I'm not done yet. Hold on. They're going to fire that whole crowd, maybe Shanahan as well, and then whoever comes in with that same core, more or less, maybe they trade Marner or something, they're immediately going to find success because that is just exactly how it would go in Toronto.
Yeah.
I want them to get like all like the boomer culture back. I want like the dudes who are like, I hate analytics. Like I would love to see how that works out. Get Torts in there or Babcock back.
I think if they can convince Barry Trotz to coach there, he would do really well. Maybe something, it's not a hot take, but it's probably something that's unpopular that I can't harp on forever. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of negativity for forever. But the league is going down a scary path right now with trying to recoup revenue. They're not getting near paying back the players' escrow debt just by coincidence. Like the board ads are atrocious. I know I bitch and moan about things, and I make a mountain. I'm very guilty of making mountains out of molehills, but like they're so bad. And they're so jarring to look at, and there's like no motion blur while the play is moving, and they move during the play happening. And the league is also like this is the same league that can't put cameras in the boards by the blue line, or their overhead cameras aren't all in 4K. And I understand there's streaming issues there, but like people have to jump through hoops. They have to buy 17 different programs and still get on their grandma's internet to steal a stream to watch their favorite team. And the NHL is prioritizing like moving board ads, and I get it, it's revenue, it's how you're going to grow, because this isn't like we're in scary times ahead economically, but I don't really like the path that it's going on, and I don't have a lot of hope that it's going to settle in a place that's comfortable. I'm also like, as much as I joke about hockey boomers, I'm a hockey boomer. Like I miss late 90s early 2000s feeling of hockey, and I'm very much a purist where anytime change comes up, I immediately reject it. And then I'm like, am I rejecting that because it's not comfortable or because it's actually not good?
Right.
So, yeah.
The hitting and the gritty style.
Yeah. I love big hits. I love fights. I understand. Like, I firmly understand. I had a fair amount of concussions myself from hockey, and I know how bad it is to get whacked in the head. Yeah. I still don't think fighting should leave the game. I think it has a place. And I know I'm probably objectively wrong for saying that, but it's just me.
I don't think so.
No, I think you're right. Give me your absolute best case scenario for how the rest of this season is going to go. Your personal one.
Oh, best case scenario is that they stick in a playoff spot and they do some damage in the first round. Like, I used to hate the idea of you just have to make it in, because I'm like, that's not a serious way to compete for the cup. But I think you can still make it out of the first round. Like, the first round's wild. You can do anything in the first round. Or you could be the St. Louis Blues and just win the whole damn thing when you were in last place in January. But
that's right.
I think this is very much a team that can make the playoffs if all things go right. What's the likelihood of that? Oh, less than 10% in my mind that everything will fall into place. That might be mean. Maybe less than 20%. I think Bertuzzi has to come back and stay healthy and sign and not get traded. I think Verona has to come back, which that is the biggest question mark on this team. Larkin has to keep having a career year, and Raymond and Sider need to produce like they did before. And the goalies need to be phenomenal because the defense isn't going to get better. They just don't have the personnel for it. So absolute best case scenario, first round of the playoffs, and they might even steal a series. But please know that is like, if I had $1,000 to put on for free to put on any scenario, I would put not even a single dollar on that happening.
You heard it here first, folks. Ryan Hana confirms the Red Wings will win the first round of the playoffs this year.
He hates the Red Wings. This man hates
the Red
them.
Wings.
I'm beat both your asses. It's just me and Thomas. Those are my only friends.
Tommy.
Yep, just me.
Tommy, you mean baby girl?
Alexa, lead interview.
We literally went through the fucking definition, and I still don't understand that shit.
That's not for us, man.
We'll be here all day.
No,
if we
it's
do
not.
That.
Yeah.
Ryan, it's been a blast having you on.
Yeah.
Thank you. Where can we find you?
Yeah.
Where can our many followers find you?
Let's give him some of our audience. Share our platform.
Our many
no.
follower.
No, you guys do a good show. You guys do a good show. Don't put yourself down like that. Except for Jake, you're a freak. I don't want to talk to you.
That's fair.
The Winged Wheel Podcast, wherever you find your podcasts, wingedwheelpodcast.com, at Winged Wheel Pod on Twitter, at Winged Wheel Podcast on other social media, and then you'll see links to our personal accounts. So we're on YouTube as well. So yeah, if you like to listen to a podcast, figure out the best place to do that. Search Winged Wheel Podcast. You should find us. And if you can't, you probably spelled it wrong. So just, I'm sure they'll link it or spell it in the description of this episode. And genuinely, thank you guys for having me on. This is a lot of fun. And like I said, you're very cool, and we're not. Right. So it's nice to do.
Make my head bigger.
I
please
think the last thing,
please fucking don't.
Besides making Jake's head bigger, if you want to really quickly, like as we wrap, just talk about the Jamie Daniels Foundation. It just seems right because I hear your voice and I can like hear you saying Jamie Daniels and like do your thing.
Wow.
Do you tune out and you tune in when you hear Jamie Daniels Foundation?
Well,
do I sound that inspired? It was a foundation that was started by Ken Daniels and Lisa Daniels Goldman. And we, through a series of endeavors, help support them. So Winged Wheel Podcast Nights at the LCA in partnership with the Detroit Red Wings. A portion of all those tickets benefits the Jamie Daniels Foundation. And we've also started Wings Money on the Board with our good friend Prashanth Iyer. So if you go to wingedwheelpodcast.com and you go to the top menu, you should see something for Wings Money on the Board. It's a fun way. You make a pledge based on the team. So it could be like Tyler Bertuzzi Toothless Grins, 10 cents each time you see it on the screen, or Lucas Raymond goals, or every time Jake says some dumb shit on 313, you pledge. Yeah, right. And then last year we raised $32,000. We also sell our Winged Wheel Podcast Mickey Redmond flannels, and we donate as much as we can from the sales of those to the foundation. So last year we raised $32,000. This year we're trying to hit $50,000. So thank you, for prompting me to do that. I appreciate it.
Beautiful. And we'll be including all of those details in our podcast episode link in the description, so feel free to click on those and take a peek as well.
Thank you. That's amazing.
All right, Ryan. Thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Take care, guys.
I have some key takeaways from this season that I didn't get to mention to Ryan Hana. But here's where we're at so far. I really like, and this might be an unpopular opinion, this might get some flack.
Kubalik.
Dominic Kubalik is good.
Wow.
I'll say it. I'll say
moron.
it. Brave.
You idiot.
I think leading the team in scoring is a good
bad
thing,
signing.
and I know that people are not going to like that.
No, Larkin should be leading scoring.
I'd rather have Zadina given the puck more often so he can prove himself.
That's good. Yeah, he needs more time to prove himself. And sure he's injured, but at least he's got, he just needs more time. He just needs to prove himself. Just one more game, bro. Just one more. But anyway, Kubalik is really good. And I'm sad that you guys hate him so much. I know he's Czech, Maddie, so I need you to rein it in a bit.
See, this I told you it's not a Czech thing; it's a Philip thing on our team. I don't have this issue with other Czech men, hockey players, or Czech people.
Have we ever had other Phillips before? I feel like we've had Phillips for a while. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm sure we have.
I'm going to go through the roster history, and I'm going to start naming the Phillips, and I'm going to see Maddie's face just contort. Like,
but is it all Phillips, or is it just Czech Phillips?
Yeah, that's true, because it could just be a PH might not bother you. But you see that F, and suddenly your face is like, no.
I like Phil Kessel.
But he's not with an F.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He's a PH. And I like Philip Forsberg.
Yeah, but everybody likes Philip Forsberg. How could you hate him?
Okay. Jeez.
I like him. He's good. And also, technically, I think we're still second in the Atlantic Division. Let me look that up right now.
Even after last night?
Let's see. Oh, we are fourth in the division, but
it doesn't matter right now.
We are tied with the Florida Panthers, so technically we're third in the division.
Oh, shush! They're nothing to sleep on anymore.
No,
that
they're pretty
used to
good.
Be funny like 5 years ago, but
they're pretty good. I hate teams. I hate jokes that like punch down. Like that whole weird.
Sure
Twitter,
you do. Sure you do, Jake.
That Twitter verification system came out, and the Arizona Coyotes obviously have their check, and somebody was like, "Oh, they could afford that." And I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, yep, Coyotes bad. They're poor. Get it, because they don't have money. Get it?
Oh, please. I feel like you would make that joke.
Please laugh. No, I would make a funnier joke. I would simply be better.
Yours would be funnier.
I would have a much better bit.
Well, then, Jake, what would your bit be?
Yeah, what's your bit?
Yeah, what's your bit?
Thank you, Tom.
I don't know. They had to give up a 3rd round pick to get that check mark.
That's the same thing.
But it's better.
That's not barely.
You guys would put me on the spot. I need time to think.
Better. You can be better.
Oh, I know I can be better.
You need time to write.
That's not your best work.
Speaking of being better, what is your guys' best case scenario for this season? What do you want?
I hate this question because, best case scenario to me is always going to be winning the
Stanley Cup. Duh.
Yeah. That's why I don't like that question, because that's always going to be the best case scenario, even if we're like dog shit.
Besides winning the best Stanley Cup. Not just the Stanley Cup.
Going to the Stanley Cup and losing? I mean, what do you mean?
I think that the team should narrowly miss the playoffs, but have a strong enough 1st round pick where suddenly they get Connor Bedard.
What?
I want the narrative to shift finally. Give us something good.
I mean, for us to just move up from like 8 or 15 in that range to 1.
It's happened before.
That's what you're looking for?
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Flyers moved up to 2nd overall when they were like a bubble playoff team. The Dallas Stars got Heiskanen.
Yeah. It has happened. I agree.
It's possible. Happened. It's always possible.
It needs to happen for us. And Gary Bettman, if you don't make that happen, I will be in your walls. I'm sorry.
Who do you think Bettman supports, like, in his private life? Like, obviously, he can't outwardly support a team.
He feels like a Blackhawks fan to me.
I feel like he feels like a Rangers fan.
Yeah, I feel like a Rangers fan because they're the biggest market team, so they make... Toronto, too. Toronto's the biggest market team, but they're kind of suckers, so, like, he's okay with it. They're suckers in the sense that, like, the Lions fans are suckers, so he's like, look, they're going to give me money no matter what, no matter how good or bad this team is, so I don't care.
Yeah, but he's always trying to move teams south.
Well, he's from New York. I just Googled it.
Okay, yeah, then he's a Rangers fan.
Okay, so Rangers.
That's what I thought.
That explains his contempt for, like, Detroit and other Original Six teams that aren't the Blackhawks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he probably hates the Islanders, too. I mean, how can you not?
Everybody hates the Islanders.
Literally, one of the only times I've ever gotten death threats online was from Islanders fans.
Oh, usually you equate death threats to the Leafs.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten death threats from Leafs fans too, but more frequently from Islanders fans, which is strange.
How can you be happy living on Long Island?
Literally, imagine willingly living on Long Island.
That's what people say about Detroit, though.
Yeah, but they've never been. And I've been to Long Island, and it fucking sucks.
True.
We have a giveaway. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's not even worth it anymore.
All right. Well, we have a giveaway prepared for you lovely fans.
What do we have, Jake?
We have, thanks to your crowdfunding efforts and our many generous donor and some freelance work I did, we have an Adam Ernie jersey ready for one lucky listener.
Can you do the cheers?
Oh, yes, absolutely I can. Listen to this, guys.
Hopefully
right.
Tom can edit that so it's seamless.
Yeah, it's gonna be seamless.
Probably
Don't worry.
not.
Here comes. Oh, what? They're still going. Well, I didn't realize people loved Adam Ernie so much. Listen.
Yeah, you did. Can you hear them? They're screaming and shouting.
Oh my
Wow.
God, they haven't
They're
given
still
up.
going.
I want to do that, like, you know, the celebrity thing where they're like, and they like put their hands to their mouths. They're like, oh my God, and a little hand wave. All right. Anyway, Adam Ernie's jersey will be given away. Your size and your choice between a home and an away jersey. We will be doing so for the next 2 weeks, and we will be announcing the winner on, I believe, our next episode.
We make the rules.
Yeah, we do. But I'm not even going to say I believe. We will announce the winner on the next episode. Here are the rules. You need to follow us at 313hockey on Twitter. You need to retweet our pinned tweet, which is going to be the Adam Ernie jersey. And then you need to tag 2 friends in the comments. Isn't that neat? Isn't that fun? Getting a little community involved.
You also have to pick your favorite 313 hockey host, and it has to be me.
Say something nice about us, please. All of us, some of us, have praise kinks, and we really need to be validated.
I knew you were going to say that. Tom looks like Ash Ketchum today. I wasn't expecting that. It was way better.
Anyway, that's all we have for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Next week,
do you think people listen to this?
I hope they actually pipe it through the psych wards, like around the Metro Detroit area, and so people have to hear it. Like,
I can believe that.
They got that, and then between cuts, you have the nurse going, "Medication time, medication time."
Oh
This is your medication. You're welcome.
Ugh.
All right. Anyway, we love you. Bye, guys.
Love everybody. Bye.
Bye.